Thank you, Adnastam. That was a nice, loose, and short intro song. I'm not even going to look and see if anyone's watching. I don't care. Maybe we'll take a moment before you play the two tapes I have. Two short clips. Yeah, okay. I'm going to force you to listen to this idiot, this guy. I haven't seen the last night of the RNC. I haven't seen Trump's speech. Frankly, I'm never interested much in the national conventions of the parties, obviously. But I was interested at that. A couple of Zio speakers came out. And I'm torn between trying to take some slight hope in what I see as the not entirely enthusiastic reception of this person, Matt Brooks, who's CEO of some horrible activist organization on behalf of Jews. In fact, I had it pulled up here. Who is Matt Brooks? We'll talk a bit about this guy first. USA Today. Oh, well, it's all I got. So it's USA Today. Matt Brooks, a figure from Massachusetts' political past, gave a fiery speech at the Republican National Convention condemning President Joe Biden's policies on Israel, as well as student protesters. Brooks, the chief. Am I coming through? Somebody let me know if this damn thing's somehow muted. Hi, Oswald. Can you hear me okay? I don't feel like going to turn on the amp. I can never be sure. All right. Oswald says, interesting, the Faith and Freedom Conference overlapped with RNC. I don't even know what Faith and Freedom Conference is. But Brooks is the chief executive officer of the Republican Jewish Coalition and the Jewish Policy Center. He said it was time for President Donald Trump to take back the White House. Anyway, yeah. The theme for Tuesday at the RNC is Make America Safe Once Again, centering on border security and immigration. This theme follows a pattern set by yesterday's Make America Wealthy Once Again. Mawoa. That one works out again. Masoa and Mawoa. Yeah, and I think Matt Brooks, look at these guys. I mean, why, if you have a face like that, I don't know, you'd have to do something with it, right? Look at the little hands. Are you seeing this? I'm sharing the right screen. The ridiculous face, right? The double chin, right? The little spare tire around that face that guys get. It's so scary getting old. The little hand. Look at the little mini hands. I mean, I wouldn't leave the house if I looked like that. I mean, I guess I'm overly vain. And I don't think I'm really... I'm no beauty either. But if I looked like that... I mean, you don't even have to look good. You just need to look like a human being. Anyway. So that's Matt Brooks, and he's an obnoxious... I think this Make America Safe Again thing, they're going to play on that. Make America Safe for Jews Again is going to be their theme. Because, it's so difficult for Jews to actually go to a campus and hear people chanting, First, we're going to talk, I don't know why these guys are winning either, the people they put out there. I guess they have their glamorous people. They're in movies and stuff, Your Paul Newmans, your Jeff Goldblums, These guys are guys you like, and you can't help, but like these people. But then you get the political guys like this guy. This is funny. Somebody posted this. So this is a leader of Hillel or something. And it's funny how they misspelled his name as Shabbos. I think that's a misspelling. Shabbos Kestenbaum, an Orthodox Jewish American, recent graduate of Harvard, who is suing the university. He spoke at the convention on Wednesday, a day devoted to foreign policy and national security. Yeah. Anyway, this just because every now and then you have to slap yourself with reality, and this is what we've been losing to for over half a century. These are the guys who rule us. So don't get all worked up. Don't get full of yourself. Even when you're going on about Western civilization and white excellence and all this other stuff, that's great. But don't get too full of yourself when you look at the dipshits who manipulate us with apparent ease. Shabbos, Chavis. Shabbos. Look at these guys. Who let them in? And they all cheer. Look at these. Jews, Jews, Jews. I swear I hear somebody trying to get that started. If I was there, I think that's what I would do, right? I would do, what's the name for this? And there's probably a name for it in comedy, but I would be the guy, I would say, okay, let me pretend that I'm enthusiastic and just get up and start chanting, Jews, 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 or kill the Palestinians, right? And just try to get the most ridiculous, outrageous chants started. See how many dipshits you could get chanting along with you, and to embarrass, Shabbos and the rest. No shit. So he went to Harvard to study theology, and he found contempt for it. That's interesting. I wonder who's behind that. No clip audio? Get the fuck out of here. No clip audio? God damn it. Does anything ever fucking work in here? I think it's part of the Cloudflare thing. Oh, man. How in the fuck? No audio. Now this is not right. So that one's muted. That one's muted. You're not muted, Shabbos. Why are you not coming through? All right. Does nothing ever work? I'm going to... all right. Let me just quickly go into the StreamYard settings here and see what the hell is going on. Audio. Let me just put on stereo audio. Maybe that needs to be on. All right, let's try this again. Get that monstrosity off the floor. Look at that. That's desecration of the American flag, you dumbasses. I got to see if we got audio here. 6 million flags were showed. Really? Does anybody believe that? Merely for being a Jew? Yeah, there's no sound coming out of that asshole. I mean, it's kind of a good thing you don't have to hear this guy, but. Really? Does anybody believe that? Merely for being a Jew? What the fuck? Yeah, there's no sound coming out of that asshole. See, I hear me. Have they? I haven't heard about. Oh, look at this. Look at this very earnest shiksa in the middle. She could be Jewish, though. Yeah, no audio. Have they? How in the fuck is this happening? This doesn't work if I can't share audio, because we need to hear Mr. Brooks. All right, just a moment. Just a moment. He has the Brewster Spencer haircut. That's funny. He's probably got the same tailor. All right, camera, webcam, camera, audio, mic and audio. Yeah. I don't see what the problem is. Okay, so it's just this one window. We played music, YouTube video. All right, let's just play it. Look at the earnest females. You really should be hearing this. I hate convention speeches because they're just one applause line after another. I guess I'll turn this down if you're not gonna hear it. I am very sorry. I'm very sorry about the audio. I hate convention speeches. I guess I'll turn this down. Yeah. I guess I'll just have to get a proper computer and ditch Streamlabs. All right. Anyway, that's Shabbos. The far less anti-Semitic extremism has no virtue. All right. So, this is just all part of my latest obsession. This fervent attempt to corral the right into the pro-Zionist camp by associating all the anti-Israel protests, which of course are coming from a lot of far-left people and do have a lot of anti-Western bias. Whether it's the dipshit lefties at universities who see Israel as a colonial enterprise, it is, and the Muslim students and foreign students and others who just see Israel as the whitest. Look at that. So there's Trump in between Johnson and frickin' Rubio. I haven't really heard him speak since the shooting incident. I haven't heard him speak since, as CNN said, he fell down at a rally after some loud noises. I'm going to stick with that, by the way. Me and everybody here at the Dale household still believe that Trump was in fact startled by some mild fireworks and rushed off the stage. So embarrassing. I just wish Keith Olbermann was still on the air to make fun of it. All right, so oh God, that's a yenta. All right, so there he goes. that schlub. Okay, I guess it's a good thing. I hope you can hear Matt, because I don't think there's no subtitles. So if this one fucks me over, I mean, we're just going to give up on the stream. We're just going to give it up. American hostage in Gaza, Phil. Yeah, that's what he's saying. He's saying we. Speaking of haircuts, I went and got my usual Marine Corps regulation. They can never quite do it. But, you know, it's basically what the kids wear now, a fade. Oh, hey, Gleb. I'm sorry, Gleb. I'm sorry about... I will cool it with the anti-Semitism. Gleb is reveling in his colonial privilege while I'm going to the wine bar with queers for Palestine. I do. Don't knock it until you've tried it. Quachangelo says, Dale is loving hearing KEXP on his radio, says it's a vibe. You know, it's kind of sad. KEXP is the public radio. It used to be the UW radio. I didn't know if it is text anymore. It used to be KCMU, and it was the student radio for, Washington, University of Washington. It became KEXP when a bunch of money was dumped on it by, who's that guy? I guess he's a co-founder of Microsoft who, he's dead now. Paul Allen. He is a big Seattle guy. He owned this, either the Seahawks or the Mariners for a while. And he had this project, the KEXP Music Project. He was a guitarist and a huge Hendrix fan. Hendrix is another Seattle figure. And so he spent a bunch of money on his whole project, the Experience Music Project, which is mostly the museum, what do they call it? The Experience Museum, something Experience Museum. You know, it's a museum to rock, or it's a rock and roll museum. And it's horrible architecture. One of these she names behind it. And it's just a bunch of, it looks like the stuff at Disney. If you ever go to Toontown at Disney, it looks like it came out of there. And it's supposed to be a smashed up guitar, right? So it's a bunch of formless this and that, and you can kind of make out some frets. It's supposed to be a smashed up guitar, referencing Hendrix. I can't. Well, Hendrix burned his guitar, right? He didn't smash up his guitar. Maybe he did, but that was the Who. But that's the idea, and it's heavily. I went like 20 years ago, so I don't know what it's like now. But there was a big Hendrix exhibition, and it's just as boring as a rock and roll museum can be. It's as boring as rock and roll is when there's no sound. Like if you were watching it here on the Dale broadcast, and the sound would just piss out for no reason. Anyway, so he's got that. Oh, and part of that whole Experience Music Project was this whole project geared toward, educating people, because we have to be educated about music, and this came while grunge was still a thing in Seattle, and Seattle was still seen as a big music town. There was the misfortune of grunge we were unleashing on the world still. So he dumped a shit ton of money on KCMU, which was this great, it's like every city you go to, you've got at least one college radio station. Usually they don't have much to do with the college anymore, it seems. That just, it's commercial free, and it's just a bunch of hipsters, Originally it's students, and then they end up with professional DJs who come on and, they just do shows nightly, Each night of the week will be a show, and there's always a Wo-Pop show, and there's usually, a R&B show. And when I lived here years ago, So he dumped a shitload of money on them, and they upgraded and became KEXP, EXP for the experience. But they were great. They were always great. It was always my best radio station in the world, I always said. People talk about KCRW in LA, which is the same sort of thing, probably UCLA's former college station, but they're horrid. They play all day. They play talk, political talk, and it's all like, the Pacifica radio shit. Just the worst horse shit. The difference, KXP, was just music all day. Anyway, it was awesome. I mean, I picked up so much great music. Even on the Wopop show, I would listen to and find good stuff. But I'm back now, and I'm tuning it in, and it sucks, man. I'm yelling at my radio. It sucks. For one thing, apparently 2020 washed through, right? And so they have to. It's already music. It's already got a huge black influence. It's already got a great international influence, right? But I guess they had to double down on all that shit and just make it more boring. So there's still a lot of that from 2020. But I would just, I don't know, I've listened here and there. I don't sit and listen to the radio all day. Just here and there, but it seems like every time I turn it on, it's shit. The other night it was the R&B show, and it was just shit. It was just the most trite, and it might be me. And I'm thinking, is it just me? They're playing this music, and it's supposed to be, it's. I guess it's music I would have liked before. It's R&B or funk-based rock. And they try to find stuff you haven't heard, right? Not the standard stuff that you know. It always seemed to work before. Maybe it's just me, but I just listen to it and I think it's so fucking stupid. Song after song comes on and immediately it's into that cliche, and I have the same response I have to anything that is old and tired and kitsch. Becomes kitsch by virtue of not having changed for years, of invoking the same vibe and the same aesthetic for years after it had any legitimacy, right? Like blues. We could enjoy blues long after it was a guy who had genuine blues to sing about, right? Long after it was guys who were sharecroppers, sons of sharecroppers, who could really, who really had some pain to channel into. But at some point it becomes kitsch. It becomes stupid and silly. Anyway, KEXP apparently sucks now. That's all I'm saying. And it might be me. But yeah, Quachangle says, I just hit the lucky hours. It's, it's always hit or miss. It depends on the show. I guess I got to go find a good show. It depends on the show. Some of the stuff is really awful, right? Like some of the overnight stuff on your... even on commercial stations where, they got the overnight and they can play whatever they want. It's, they're not making any money overnights. And it's somebody playing, just the most obscure punk bullshit, right? Throbbing Gristle or something. But, yeah. So, anyway, Quachangolo mentions KEXP, and I just had to go off on them. Phil asks, why do all these Seattle sports ball teams use the ocean as their theme? Every major city on the coast is near an ocean. Seahawks, Mariners, Kraken. They have a Kraken. Same colors and theme, nothing unique. Well, I think the Mariners is a good name, and their logo is pretty cool. Seahawks is another good name. They could have called themselves the Ospreys, but Seahawk sounds better. Good logo, good uniforms. It's not just that we're by the coast, though. Like, if you're in LA, you're by the coast, but you don't think of LA as... We have the sound and the city for a long time, and still is dependent on its role as a center for shipping, right? I think north of San Francisco, of course, north of San Francisco, there's no port bigger than Seattle. You know, some traffic goes in through Portland, but it's much smaller. Some traffic goes in through Everett to the north, but it's much, much smaller. Yeah, and when you're in Seattle, I mean, the city is right, downtown. It comes right up to the Sound. You don't get that sense. Certainly not in L.A. Not even in a place like San Diego necessarily. San Diego, you would think. San Diego calls themselves the Chargers for some reason that has to do with, electrical power or some shit. You could really make fun of the Chargers. I forget what the connection was, but it's really lame and tenuous. Also says, Dennis wouldn't be allowed in KXP studios unless he grew his mustache back. Maybe I will. Oswald says, never forget that Hendrix was half Hawaiian. Was he? I did not know. I did not know that. But I guess he was a kind of shy, retiring guy for all of it. And apparently there's some cloud flare shit going on out there that I have nothing to do with. My computer's working. I don't know. I'll see later. I'll find out later. Chargers were great in the Dan Fouts days. Yeah, I missed those days when you had white quarterbacks, you guys who couldn't even run, right? God helped them if they had to try to run with the ball. They could take 3 to 7 steps backwards quickly enough and get rid of the ball quickly enough, Oswald says Seahawks are the sewer rats of the skies, really. I reserve that for seagulls, of course. All right, so we've taken a break from all the Judeatry, all the obnoxious Jewishness of that young, and let's get right back into it. And let's go, let's just, in a perverse way, immerse ourselves in the condescension of the chosen. God, I hope we have sound for this, because I don't, we'll find out. We will find out. Who's this asshole? You don't look Jewish. All right, let me know, guys. I hope you can hear this. Wait a minute. You can't hear it because I'm not sharing just now. All right, let's try again. All right, present screen. Oh, you ex-Marines will understand that one. All right, presenting screen. Yeah, so he comes in and says, hello, Milwaukee, like a rock star. That's funny. He's no rock star.
Hello, Milwaukee! Let me hear you cheer if you support Israel.
Can you hear this?
Let me hear you cheer if you support Israel.
Oh, my God. I hope you can hear it.
Now, if someone tried that at the Democrats' convention, they'd be booed off the stage. But here, at the Republican convention, we proudly and loudly stand with Israel.
Yeah, unfortunately. All right, hang on. All right, hang on. I want to do a react. That's all I've got for today is a react. I don't have any material. Things have been crazy. They're always crazy, I know, but... Yeah, so anyway, the thing about this, I watched this one already. It's a merciful 4 minutes long. You're going to see the usual idiot Gentiles cheering this pro-Israel stuff. But it actually falls a little flat in parts. And here I am taking the slightest hope from, this ridiculous display that we've seen time and time again. This dope who's going to come in here and let me hear you support Israel, and all these idiots clapping. But at points it falters. At points he's flopping. And there are definitely cracks. You can see them forming. You can sense it. That there is, there's Negro fatigue. Well, there's Yid fatigue too. I hope our good friend, our good Jewish friend, who was it? I gotta look up his name. The great Glib. I hope he's not here to hear this. All right. Or I hope he can hear this. I'm sure he would respond well to this.
Well, if someone tried that at the Democrats' convention, they'd be booed off the stage.
Would they? Would they? They'd be booed off the stage. Okay. Is that even remotely friggin' true, right? I would like to see them try it. I think the response might be mixed. I think that certainly, if the man on the street, the Democratic voter on the street, the base, not the people at the convention, definitely doesn't want to hear it. And I think more and more the base, the Republican base, doesn't want to hear this shit. This would only be better, though, if he started like flop sweating madly, like Albert Brooks in Network. Albert Brooks, far superior to Matt Brooks.
But here at the Republican convention, we proudly and loudly stand with Israel.
Do you? And I was going to get a counter. I was going to count. He says Israel like a dozen times, and he never says America or USA.
This election is a critical moment for the American Jewish community and for Israel. This is our chance to continue the incredible pro-Israel legacy of the most pro-Israel president in history, Donald J. Trump.
You see that? Do you see that the cheers are kind of subsiding already? That's not, that's not such a great thing. It never was, but that doesn't really work anymore. You hear somebody say that, and there are people now, even, just half engaged, average IQ, working class, middle class guys out here who are tired of hearing it.
President Trump, among his many accomplishments, many of which they said couldn't be done, but he did it. He moved the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem.
Fucking.
They said it couldn't
what?
be done.
That's fucking stupid. Like, you're pointless and stupid. Maybe we'll watch Amber Rose later.
But he weakened the Iranian regime. They said it couldn't be done. But
he's going to hit all the points, right? Remember, Iran. And now they're trying to push this thing that Iran was behind the Trump assassination. It's going to get zero traction.
He delivered the historic Abraham Accords, bringing us closer to peace in the Middle East. With President
At this point, the dopes who aren't Jewish or, just outright Shabbos are they don't even know what the fuck they're cheering at this point.
President Trump, we will repair and rebuild the U.S.-Israel relationship that has deteriorated after 4 disastrous years under President Biden.
Wow. It's so funny. How do they expect to get away with this bullshit? Our relationship with Israel has deteriorated under Biden because he's going to mention it, I think, in a minute, because Biden isn't sending the arms quickly enough. What a lot of shit This is Steve Saylor comment thread caliber shit.
Now, today, 9 months after the historic Hamas attacks, shockingly, President Biden is still withholding critical arms that Israel needs to defend itself. Boo.
Please, boo.
America
See, he's
must
already got to
stand
coach
with
them.
Israel and
He's already got to coach them. He feels, I can see he feels he's losing the crowd. You know. And you hear people cheering, you're like, Dennis, what are you talking about? Well, you got to understand. You know the power that they have over these people, these idiots, these good idiots in the Republican, the mid-level managers of the Republican Party, who many of whom genuinely believe this horseshit. When they start losing enthusiasm, you start getting that wary look like Mr. Brooks gets.
against the terrorists, especially Iran. We must stand with the Israeli people.
No.
Now, my message here today to the Jewish community is clear. There is only one pro-Israel party, and it's the Republican Party.
Is that remotely true, right? Is that remotely true that the Democrats aren't doing enough? I wish people were paying attention, because if regular people were paying attention, they would be like, all right, who is this asshole that is going to deliver such a bald-faced lie? Or what are the expectations of these people that they view the Democrats, right? Who go to AIPAC every year, who have their fucking AIPAC handlers and everything, right? And are just like the Republicans light regarding Israel, and who are dominated by liberal Jews, that they're anti-Israel, anti-Semitic. Are you kidding me?
And here at home, under Donald Trump, we will put a stop to the rising tide of anti-Semitism. President Trump will bring back law and order so that American Jews can once again wear a kippah and walk the streets without fear.
Yeah, that's not quite registering on the screen, though, when you hold that little thing. It doesn't really, It should be like one of those bigger hats, like that big squarish fur thing or something. But, the idea that you can't walk the streets wearing a kippah without fear, yeah, That's funny, they shoot to the black dude. Yeah, because some black crazy might attack you, That might happen.
President Trump will stop the mobs on the college campuses so Jewish students feel safe when they go to class.
Oh, my God. Donald Trump will stop the mobs on college campuses, and he just might. This is the sad reality. He's talked a big game about shutting them down. And I hope that's just bluster, just more of his bluster. By the way, I reiterate again, still don't vote for Donald Trump. Still, it probably doesn't matter anyway. They're going to find a way not to let him back into office, or conversely, that's just they have a plan A and a plan B, and plan A is he doesn't get in at all. Plan B is okay, he's in. Let's roll him. Let's roll him on all the policy that matters, just like last time. And as they do it, they'll have the same hysterics as last time, the same sense of crisis, so that by the end of 4 more years of Donald Trump, they will have so wound up the Keith Olbermann-like crazies out there that, those people will be ready for just abandoning the democratic process altogether and just installing, democratic presidents over and over again. They'll be like, no, twice with Trump, right? I mean, they don't say it all that often, but the 2016 was viewed as democracy failing, right? When they say protect democracy, what they really mean, of course, is thwart it. Don't let democracy do it to us again. And if they get a second dose of Donald Trump winning, in an honest election, it certainly would happen in a landslide. They and the crazies of the base are going to be quite ready to completely abandon the political system.
The Jewish community is ready to help elect Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. The Jewish vote continues to increase for Republicans year after year, and I promise you 2024 will be no different. So let me ask all of you.
See, that's faltering.
Who will best stand up to the Hamas sympathizers and the squad? Donald Trump! Who will best stand with Israel? Donald Trump. Who will make sure Jews feel safe and secure? Thank you, RNC, for the opportunity to speak today, and thank you, President Trump, for your commitment to elevating Jewish American voices. Together, unified, we will win. Am Yisrael High!
Yisrael High, which means people of Israel.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Forever. Uber alles. That's what it is. Israel Uber alles. All right, I don't know. Is Glib out there? Please explain to me, Glib, what the fuck I just witnessed. To borrow a joke from Curb Your Enthusiasm, that guy we just saw is the primary cause of anti-Semitism. All right. That's all I have for you. I have to go do things. I just wanted to get something on, because we didn't do a stream yesterday. I'm sorry. I know you wait with bated breath to get the stream. If you don't get the stream, it's kind of like coitus interruptus for you. It's like not completing the sex act. So I just did a stream today to sort of relieve the blue balls. Hey, Corey. Good to see you. Yeah, but, Phil says that guy just created thousands of anti-Semites. He did, and I encourage it. Him and that annoying college kid, bring them on. I never underestimate the cunning and intelligence of our enemies, and maybe they understand that. Maybe they want it. You're going to put out the most obnoxious people making the most obnoxious claims and demands, and then say, "Look, anti-Semitism." It's like the meme. There's a meme of it's usually used against women, feminism, right? It's a woman and she's got a shovel. There's a wall next to her, and she's throwing shovel loads of shit over the wall, right? And then the next panel, the shit is coming back over the wall, and she's saying, in this case, it would be anti-Semitism. That's where we are. I embrace my anti-Semitism. I don't hate. I don't feel hate. I do feel despair. I do feel despair over the fact that I don't see a way out of this. But I don't want to. I mentioned the Steve Saylor comment thread. I don't want to do a Saylor and say, okay, this is all very unpleasant to think of, so I'm going to surrender to whatever this establishment brings, right? I mentioned Steve because that he would much rather see us restore sanity. And despite all his philo-Semitism, he would much rather live in this nice WASP order that we almost had, that we briefly had, before they gave it away, the dipshit WASPs. I'm Catholic, even though I'm now, basically an atheist, but Catholic, continental, Germanic, probably with a good dose of Jews in this blood. I mean, sometimes I think, I think, you seem to have that, I don't know, some tendencies. But I don't really worry about it all that much. And I'm not such an essentialist anymore regarding, I'm frankly exhausted with a lot of the racial essentialism. Another reason why I've turned on sailing. You don't need it to see the problem. You don't need it to defend your racial group, and you don't need it to craft a defense of white people, a defense of us, wanting not only to defend ourselves against all these assholes that we're surrounded with, but to thrive, to grow as a racial family, and to keep intact whatever we have of civilization. Don't let them gaslight you, because your Jewish friends are going to want to tell you, we've been masters of the word for, it might be bullshit, by the way, but, claiming the Old Testament, we've been masters of the word, for like 3,000 years, say. I have no idea if that's even accurate. It could be longer. Whereas if you're European, Northern European especially, it's barely, 500-600 years since we were like wild tribes, right? Like hairy red barbarians, fighting with the Romans. And I view that with pride. I mean, we shot like a cannon out of our ancestral past. We shot like a cannon, like a friggin' cannonball of civilization out of our humble beginnings as savages. Nobody has such a trajectory. Nobody has advanced that quickly. I mean, I have great respect for the Chinese civilizational history. It goes way back and way deeper than ours. But, what happened? How, we were running around, naked with spears when you were highly civilized. But something happened. We are a remarkable people. We are. And I resist mostly. I mean, I kind of find it cringe to see some white guy talking about, pro-white civilizational shit. Besides, it's so often coupled with this, curiously, it's coupled with this tepid and impotent, frankly, Amran attitude, like the Jared Taylor sort of attitude. I mean, there's no better advocate for us than a guy like Jared Taylor, who doesn't have the stones at the end of the day to confront his Jewish friends. Doesn't have the stones at the end of the day to say, I will separate from that group of people and I will judge them as a foreign group finally, and stop thinking they're our best. They're the best of us, That's why I hate the Steve Saylor comment threads, right? Because that's where it's gone. IQ worship. Okay. Phil says Vatican II was a massive mistake. I was confirmed Catholic back in the day. Yeah, I was confirmed Catholic right after it became meaningless. But I don't. Intellectually, objectively, as I consider the religion and our world, I reject it. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't view it as the one true, I don't view it as the one true way. I think people like Nick Fuentes and others who want, a Catholic theocracy. Michael Jones, what's this guy's name? You know who I'm talking about. Writes great stuff as an absolute lunatic on other things. But these Catholic guys, they're not the way. They're not going to save us. And they are of an Abrahamic tradition that I have to reject. And I think we need to free ourselves of it at the end of the day. Yeah, I'm sorry, but at catechism and everything, I just didn't even pay attention. I had severe ADHD, I think. And I didn't even really understand what they were telling me, Like I was confirmed Catholic and I couldn't really tell you what the Catholic Church was or the catechism was. I'm ashamed of myself for it, but, I would be happy to embrace Catholicism if only Catholics would. If only the church would. then that would be swell. We could all be Catholics together. But a religion is only as good as its practice. And honestly, when I see people arguing the articles of faith, the theology, I just think, I don't know. I just think it's also futile, and I don't accept. To me, it has to start in reason. It has to start in something based in the real world. And I see that you can't really have a faith that starts in empirical reality, that starts in reason, like these sort of, the Greek idea. You can't really have one. It has to be anchored in a mythology that has nothing to do with it, frankly, shouldn't be reason-based or shouldn't be empirical in any way, right? Like Christianity is not well served now by its basis in, if you get down to it, of course, Christianity is nowhere if you don't believe in the resurrection, and the resurrection is based entirely on the eyewitness testimony of, those who saw Jesus raised, and that actually hurts it, because you can just easily say, really? You're making a sort of legal argument, you're making, you're in court, you're a counsel in court making an argument that can be challenged and asserted and reasserted. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I'm not a believer. My religion is white people, because that's all that's left. It used to be America. It used to be my religion, and that was no basis for religion either. But anyway, maybe I'll go back to the church anyhow. I want to be a hypocrite. I want to live in a Christian world with strong Christian foundations where everybody's going to church. And I'll go there and I'll take the wafer. I'll take communion. I won't believe in my heart, but I'll make a show of it, because it's a better world than the one I live in now. But I am cut adrift, so I'm not going to pretend. I'm cut adrift, so I'm not going, and I don't see that there's anywhere I can gain purchase. I can't throw out, throw anchor down anywhere. There's nothing out there. I am like Welbeck made a metaphor of modern man's, our predicament. And it's as if, we started out swimming from one shore to another, not able to see the other shore, but confident it was there. And we're like in the middle of the ocean swimming, and we're no longer confident the other shore is there. Can we conjure it? Perhaps we can. Perhaps we can make the shore. I don't know. All I can try to do is behave as if there's a moral God judging me, despite my irreligion. Because I can't but help for hope of a soul that continues after my death, my physical death. I can't help but hope for that. But I can't imagine it free of moral accountability. I can't imagine that I'm granted an immortal soul, but I'm not going to have to pay for my sins. This is the real basis for Christianity, and I think, it has nothing to do with a Jewish guy named Yeshua. No. It's a tradition born on a certain continent. Europa. All right, come on, let's get out of here. I think we've done almost an hour, and it's getting a little too serious. Thank you so much. We're just going to play, and we'll just play We'll just play this. Sorry, I thought we were playing that. All right, so now we're going out. No sound? What in the fuckity fuck? All right, so we got no sound. I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing this. I'm sharing the screen. Let me just quickly check this. Yeah, so the sound has been spotty today. Usually it's just me forgetting the settings. But for some reason, some windows won't play and others will. Yeah. All right. So anyway, I have to go, and I guess we don't get music. We can try it again. Let's just open another tab. Okay, I'm just looking now. I'm distracted. I'm instantly distracted. No, we're playing music and we're going out. Let's just go to the playlists. Let's see if this plays. Jesus, you can hear me breathing. You can't hear the music. All right. I don't know what they say about Filipinas, Oswald, but I have been in the military, so I can avow that there's nothing. They are women just like other women. All right. So we don't get music. I'll be back on Monday, and I'm gonna try. Find another live streaming platform, something I can use with my screwed up, crappy computer. All right. Hi, Bear. Yes, the show's over. Let's put that up there. I like your logo. All right. Damn it. It just doesn't feel right going out without music, but that's the way it is. All right. Thank you. God bless you. And be optimistic, because there is no other point in being anything else. All right. And we'll try and get KMG in here. The problem with KMG is he wants to do mic checks and he wants it to be professional. I said, just call me. Just call in the show, man. We'll just talk. What the fuck? You see me? I don't have time for technical stuff. All right. Goodbye.